Okay, I'm going to try to make this video because a lot of people have asked me. Start with, I use a 4.5, sometimes a 5. Kind of depends on what I have with me. If I can find one of these. I usually have this because I'm doing a big project in this, so I usually have this with me. The difference in size of the finished coaster isn't too bad between a 4 and a 5. Most people have a 5. This is an H usually. Yeah, but a 4.5 is what I'm gonna use today. This is what it looks like. I'm gonna use a different cotton thing so it's easier to see, so you can't really see. Isn't this cute? But it's got the red, green, and anyways, I'm gonna try to use one that you can see a little bit better so you know what I'm talking about. Okay, I use cotton yarn. Walmart has a bunch of solid yarns. This is from Hobby Lobby. Don't do this. Do this when it's on sale. 30, 40, 50% off. Every other week, Hobby Lobby puts their yarn on sale. There's this kind, which is like a little thing, or there's ones that are like this size. There's so many cool colors. This is also Hobby Lobby. This one may have been Hobby Lobby. I don't remember. But this one was one of my favorites. I like to use multicolor ones like this, so it hides stains. This is one of my favorites so far. I don't know if you can really see it. Yeah, there you go. The purple is like a darker color and it's like speckled. Anyways. Okay, we're going to start with a magic ring. You might do it differently than me. I start it here. There's my end. Wrap it around to make like an X. I can't remember. I'm sure there's a different way to do it. But I go under the first one and under this one and pull up my thing. And I just kind of hold that together. And I crochet over these two and then pull it. We're going to do 12 double crochet in the ring. And I count this as my first one. You don't have to. Like I said, this is not very good. This is just what I do. So here's one, and I'm going to do 12 again. So it's, you see how I have my 2. So one's the tail. Just hold that and do, sorry, I haven't made many videos at all, but this is such a fun thing. Everybody wants to know these. So I have one, so that was my chain, and here's my second one. So I'm going to do 12 all together. When I'm making this is tricky. I keep pulling this because you're going to crochet, 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 and this might get lost. So just keep pulling this a little bit tighter. I actually start with a really small one because I don't want to waste a lot of my yarn. See, this is the only tail I had left. So I like try to use it really, really small. Out of one of these from Hobby Lobby, I can get more than 20 coasters. So I don't want to waste stuff. See, here's what I mean. So I'm crocheting and I want a little bit more. So I pull this. See, this is going to get smaller. So I pretty much just keep my finger in there like this. Oh, this is tricky to make a video. I don't know if I should be looking at my hand or looking at the screen because I'm just using my phone to quickly make a little video because a lot of you, not just you, who I'm sending this to, a lot of people have asked for these. I make these a lot because look at this. I bought like a little tiny bag or even a little Ziploc bag. One of these and a hook, and I use nail clippers as my little to cut my yarn. I gotta count here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 11, 12, 13, 14. I made 2 extra. Okay, so now I have 12. Okay, and then we have to join. I pull this a little tighter See how there's just one? I think a real magic ring has like 2, but it works. And I count I count that first chain as my first DC, my first crochet stitch. So I just go to the top of that. Like I said, you're just trying to make a circle here. And then I do a slip stitch to the top of that. And so you don't have to do the magic ring. You might have a hole in there. But once I learned how to do a magic ring, I do it all the time, even in my granny square. So I pull that tight. Cotton yarn is hard to crochet with because it doesn't slip so much. But also it's good because it doesn't slip so much. So there's your circle. Isn't that adorable? So to do the next, there's only 3 rows. To do the next row, we're going to double it. So we had 12. We're going to do twice that. So we're going to do 24. And so you do your first, I do 2 chains for a double crochet. I think every pattern says 3. For some reason, I always do 2. You can do it, so you do a DC, you can either do it in your chain stitches, right? These little V's, or I don't know, there's not much of a pattern to this, a design. I like to go in between the stitches, and I'll show you in the next one. That's hard to see because I used the stitch. So there's 2, and I do the next one. See, you can go here, totally fine, do 2 right there, or I go in between. You see that? Right in there. It might make it tighter or just look cooler. I don't know. So do 2, do 2 double crochet in each one. So this was my 2 for the first one. Here's 2 for that one. So you should have 24 all the way around. I'm counting that one as my first one. You don't have to. It's whatever you are used to at this point. If you're not used to anything, you can do it this way until you want to find your own thing. All right, hold on. I'll come back. Okay, see how I did 2? I did it in between, but you can totally do it on top. So you can count how many you have. I'm going to do the last few right here. I would love to make tiny little videos for friends. So there's 2. Now remember, that was my, it looks so strange because it's my chains, but I'm counting that as a post. So those 2 kind of went on that side of the post, which means I have another one right here. If you're doing it inside of the stitch, that is where you're going to put it. So I got 2 more, and when in doubt, just count them. So you did 12 in the first circle. Now we're doing 24. I hear Rebecca coming, so she's probably going to talk. I'm not editing this at all. Oh, and then I just slip stitched right in the top there to connect it. I didn't. You see that? In case some of you might not know. I'm not sure who I'm sending this to. I'm making it for my friend. Hi, friend. I'm not going to say your name in case you're like, oh, she said my name. But I think I'm going to give it to other people. See, so that one goes to here. This goes to here. There's different ways to do this. Am I doing it wrong? Maybe. I'm doing it in a way that works. I don't sell my stuff. I don't know. So there, circle 1, circle 2. See how it's a little bit closer? Like this is the same double crochet as this. See how it's shorter because I did it in between the post. So maybe if your cup holder is bigger, do it on that side, or anyways. Okay. Now I want to do, so the next round, so there's 12 here, and then we just doubled it. Oh, keep in focus. And this is 2 for every one, right? So it's doubled. This one, this next round, sorry, trying to keep my camera in focus. So 12, 24. I'm actually, so this is 1, 2, this one's going to have 3. Does that make sense? So I'm only adding 12 more. That sounds really weird. But how I do it, I did it one other way, but I kind of liked the way this looked, is you see how there's like a little V here. I'm trying to remember how I did it. Yeah. So see how there's like a little V? I actually do a cluster of 3 of them in between, not in between the V, not in the V, like in between. Does that make sense? So you can do 2 crochet, 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, all around, or just do like a cluster of 3, like a granny square stitch or whatever you call it. So, but because I want to start my first one here. See, here's my V. Here's a 1, 2 in the same. I want to do it in here. So I am just going to slip stitch over because I want to be 1 spot over. See there? So now, if you're doing it in the stitch, just chain up. I'm going in between. So this is how I'm doing it in between. So I'm going under. This is how I do mine. Under. Grab one. So see, it's kind of starts from under. You don't have to do that. Half the time I don't. I'm not thinking. Okay. So now I am going to do 3 right in here. So this is 1. I'm going to do 2 more. And then I skip over and do the here. Or you can do 1 here, 2 here, 1 here, 2 here. Does that make sense? We're only going to add that many. But I like maybe the little look of this. And you can do it inside the V. I don't know. It's because it's such a small little circle. See, I did 3, 1, 2, 3. And I'm not going to go in between here. I'm going here. There's not much of a design to it. And you saw with the types of yarn that I use, like here, you can't see the stitches. I mean, you kind of can if you're looking, but this is inside of your cup holder in the hole. No one sees it. Anyway, so, yeah, you see, you can't even see it. You just see blue. This one you can see a little bit more because of the type of yarn. See how there's 3, but then I skipped it. So there's somewhat of a pattern. And then you just do 3 in each one. And that helps me with counting too. So I'm not counting 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm usually doing this in the car or somewhere where I am waiting for something. I don't know. All right, I'm going to pause because I don't want to make this too long. But you see how it's somewhat added a little bit of a pattern, but you don't have to. So you could do 1 here, 2 here, 1 here, 2 here. You need to add another stitch going around. Does that make sense? That's how this lays flat. So you have 12 in the middle. That means you're adding 12 in the next circle. You're adding 12 in the next circle. If you want to make it even bigger, anyways, I'm going to pause and go around. Okay, again, I'm almost all the way around. See how it adds a little bit of a pattern? That's funny that this one doesn't seem to... Oh, it does. So see, you can't even see this. It is the exact same pattern. Look, if I had contrasting color behind it, maybe. I don't know. There are the same holes, but how different it looks just by the different types of yarn. This changes colors as it goes. This is like, anyway. Okay, so there's my 3. See my little V? This is where it gets weird. Just got to go, okay, wait, there's my doubled together. So to me, this is my last little hole. Again, what do I say? When in doubt, count. Count it, count it, count it. I could not count stitches for years. I had no idea what I was doing. So there's the ending. Again, if you're doing the top, that's fine too. So here's that first 3 that I did. So here's my first hole to there, first hole to there. I'm thinking that is where I need to join. Okay. You slip it, grab that, pull that through. Just, there you go. These fit so many different cars. No one's told me anything different except for my mother-in-law said her 2 cup holders in the front of her van should have been a little bit bigger. I added, then after this, I think I added like one row around of just like single crochet, and then she said it was too big. So I'm like, okay. So maybe I would use the next hook up. Maybe it was a difference. I don't know. But let's see. Then you just cut it off. Do I have little scissors? I do. I use nail clippers. Isn't that funny? And this is how, so here's that loop, right? My hook. This is how I do it. This will not slip very much. My really cheap scissors. You have your hook in there? Pull it. Pew! Did you see that? So this does not slip hardly at all because it's cotton. I flip it over. See, even that's pretty. Front, back. And then you want to hide this somehow in, that's where this is cool. Nobody sees where it's hidden. And then you're done. If you wanted to make it bigger, you have to do another row. See how that's 1 and that's 2 and that's 3? It would be 4. You'd just add another 12 stitches, however you want. I use these as coasters upstairs. Cotton is machine washable. Yay! You can use this with regular yarn, cheap yarn. It just won't wash as nicely. You can still wash it. You can still wash it. These are to keep your car cleaner. Like, anyways, like I said, this takes a few minutes. I have gotten, I think, like 20 or more out of this. I make so many of these. Yeah, and it's so much fun. Where are the other colors? I had the blue. Oh, I don't remember if this is Hobby Lobby or if this was Joann's. It didn't change colors as fast. See, I like all the colors. I like when it changes colors a lot to hide dust and dirt. Can't see, I haven't hidden any of the stuff yet. It is so fun. Cotton yarn, it seems like it's expensive, but it's not for if you're doing tiny projects. So this is really fun. I'm going to see if you have any questions, anything I need to change. I have tried to do it a few different ways. There's not much of a pattern to it. It's just a circle. And so there's not many variations on me on doing a circle. So as I've used them, they fill in a little bit. The Walmart yarn, where's my black yarn? This yarn is a little looser. Does this say acrylic? No, cotton. It feels softer, but it's looser. And so when you make it, it fluffs together a little bit more. So that might be better for you. But they don't do a lot of colors. They just do, solid colors. Once in a while you'll see some fun colors, but it's whatever you want to make. Is this fun or what? Okay. I hope this helps because it's so fun and it's an easy project. I love gifts, so there you go.